This is a monologue on the subject of the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, Egypt. There are no references, since it is a speculative discussion based on my interpretation of an Egyptologist's translation of one of the wall texts. It is an attempt to provide an interpretation couched in modern terms instead of the mythological prose of the text on a wall of the temple. Har-Semetawi is alive with gloss in the sky and lives at the day of the New Year celebration. He lights up in his house in the night of the child in his nest by donating the light to the country from the birth bricks. The sky is jubilant. The text continues on to address certain features in a scene displayed on the wall of Marriott's Crypt 4. There are 5 such scenes in the temple and in the Iseum. August Marriott was an Egyptologist who excavated and exhaustively recorded the scenes in the temple in 1860. The texts and scenes were executed in Ptolemaic times, but the texts are believed by some to be younger than the bulb objects represented in the scenes. Could it be that the scenes were inspired by traditions from more ancient times, but not understood by the artist who created the scenes? I believe so. The bulb objects in the scenes are unique in all of ancient Egyptian art, and could represent objects that have a purpose different from the descriptions in the texts. Here is a modern interpretation of the translation of the text on the wall of Marriott's Crypt 4, couched in the context of a plasma environment. A large-scale plasma discharge becomes visible in Earth's sky, radiating brilliance as if alive. This event coincides with the seasonal turning point that marked the ancient New Year. The discharge intensifies at night, forming nested plasmoid structures that glow within a luminous column or house in the sky. From instabilities in the plasma, the birth bricks, streams of light spread outward, illuminating the land below. The entire celestial environment responds with shimmering activity, like a jubilant aurora or vast electrical storm in space. The passage portrays a moment when the sky itself came alive with intense plasma activity. A great luminous form, Har-Semetawi, entering glow discharge, nested plasmoids radiating from within, electrical connections extending to Earth, and the entire celestial dome erupting in radiant light. In plasma cosmology, such records preserve cultural memory of the electrical nature of the cosmos, embedding observational testimony into ritual language of life, rebirth, and cosmic joy. In ancient Egyptian art, there are no instances of an anthropomorphic personification of Har-Semetawi, or an animalistic representation such as the Anubis jackal. Instead, images of gods are used to represent Har-Semetawi. Also, there are images of 2 men pulling on ropes to secure 2 vertical objects together, uniting the 2 lands, Upper and Lower Egypt, according to ancient Egyptian mythology. François Dalmas described the easternmost of the 5 crypts along the southern end, Marriott's Crypt 4, telling us, quote, "These reliefs are cosmological representations. The snake that comes out of the lotus is equated with the shining deity Har-Semetawi, as he appears for the first time out of the primordial sea. What was the primordial sea? The primordial sea was the chaotic, formless, watery abyss that existed before the ordered cosmos, a common motif in ancient cosmologies. It seems that Har-Semetawi represented a natural force or entity, a plasma discharge, and, because it was said to unite Upper and Lower Egypt, it could be a remembrance of a plasma discharge or current that extended between the land of Earth and the land of heaven. What is it about the bulb scenes that allows me to interpret Har-Semetawi as plasma? Take a good look at each of the bulb scenes. In this one, Marriott's Crypt 4, notice the placement of the bulbs and the shape of the serpents. By the way, the bulb devices are not on boats as is claimed by some observers. There is no prow, and the stem-like part terminates in a block or disappears into the floor. the bulbs are arranged with their large ends almost touching. What about the shape of the serpents? Notice that the serpent heads are turned up sharply, as though deflecting each other. I believe that the intent of the image is to show the effect of like charges repelling each other. The serpents represent active electron beams. This is a model for the effect in the other scenes. What about the other bulb scenes? Why are there so many? The purpose is, I believe, to show behavior of electrical charge under various conditions. The next scene of interest is chamber V with two bulbs pointing in the same direction. On the left side of the chamber is a pair of bulbs pointing to the right. The left bulb is a model for a non-deflected beam. There is nothing deflecting the left beam. 4 of the scenes show an object being held near the large end of a bulb. On the left side of chamber V, a knife held near the large end deflects the beam. Likewise, in crypt 4, left side, 2 knives are held near the large end of the bulb. Were they literally knives holding a negative charge? I don't know. In the Iseum, a priest is shown holding an incense offering next to the large end of the bulb, and the beam seems to be deflected, but less so than the beams deflected by the knives. Chamber V, right side, the snake issuing water has no effect on the beam. The curl of the beam is the same as in chamber V, left side. No deflection. Conventional wisdom says that the ancient Egyptians were not able to generate electrical power, and this seems to be true based on known records. Recent publications show that there is evidence of technology higher than admitted by Egyptologists, but it is thought to be relics from a time before the known Egyptian civilization.